All right, players, gather around. Here we go. You ready? We're going to learn a little bit about the Pythagorean Theorem today. So, Pythagorean Theorem is how you can find the third side of a right triangle. A right triangle, remember, is a triangle that has a 90-degree angle, a right angle. So, they'll tell you the formula a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And that means that the two legs are a and b, and c is always the hypotenuse. So a better equation that you should probably write down in your notes right now is leg squared plus leg squared equals hypotenuse squared. So the legs are always the ones that form the 90-degree angle. The hypotenuse is always the one across from the angle. So leg squared plus leg squared equals hypotenuse squared. I will give you 10 seconds to get that down real quick. Okay, we're moving on. Get it from someone if you didn't get it yet. All right, so our first example. Tiles at the right are squares with 6-inch sides. What is the length of the hypotenuse of the triangle shown? So we've got a square tile, which means that both the lengths are going to be the same. So we got 6 inches, we got 6 inches. We need to figure out this. These form a 90-degree angle, so they are our legs. We are looking for the hypotenuse. So if we set up an equation then, and it is leg squared plus leg squared equals hypotenuse squared, which we'll call it C here. And we just do kind of what we know how to do. 6 squared is not 12. Don't say 12. 6 squared means 6 times 6, which is 36, plus another 6 squared, 36 equals C squared. Cool, cool, adorable. 36 plus 36, what? 72, that's right. So 72 equals C squared. Now we got that one extra step. We know that inverse of squaring something is square rooting. So to get rid of C squared and just find C, we are going to square root both sides. Let me grab my calculator. The square root of 72, does it tell us where to round? It doesn't. So let's see, square root of 72, whoops, comes out to 8 point blah 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 blah. A lot of stuff. If it's not a perfect square, then it has an infinite decimal. And we're not going to use the negative square roots because it can't be negative 8 point whatever inches. So we're just going to say 8.49 equals C, which we are talking about the inches here. So we'll say 8.49 inches. Cool? Fresh? So, if you're finding the hypotenuse, you square each of the sides, add them together, and then square root that. Now we're going to try one where we're finding one of the legs. So, first thing you always got to figure out is which side is the hypotenuse. Again, it is across from that right angle. So, on this one, 13 will be our hypotenuse. So, our legs are 5 and b. So we can say 5 squared plus b squared equals our hypotenuse squared. And we square the same thing. 5 times 5 is 25 plus b squared. 13 times 13 is 169. Now we use our steps of solving the equation to get rid of 25. What do? Oh, that's right. I'm in an empty class, by the way, and they said subtract 25. I look like a crazy person if anyone walks by in the hallway. So we got b squared equals a bone 44. And then our last step to get rid of square is to square root. So we square root both sides. Square root of b squared is b. Square root of 144 is 12. That's right. Good job. So this last side is 12. Which, make sure your answer makes sense. The hypotenuse is always the longest side. So if you have 5, 12, and 13, then that makes sense because your longest side is the hypotenuse. Cool? Okay, great. Phenomenal. Now, I'm going to have whoever's sitting right over here pass out this sheet right now about the Pythagorean Theorem, and we'll do a couple of them from the worksheet together. So that's probably coming around to you right at this moment. Hey, quiet down over there. You too. Oh, thank you. You don't need to say that. Okay, I accept it. All right. So bust that out for a moment's time. If I can get there. Here we go. All right, so we're gonna do, we'll do number 1 and 2 from these first 6. We are looking for the sides of the triangle. So it says look at this triangle. C is the hypotenuse because it is across from the right angle. So number 1, it says we are looking for C. They give us A and B. So we say A squared, 12 squared, plus B squared, 35 squared, equals C squared. Now, I don't know my multiples of 35, so I'm going to have to use my calculator, okay? I do know 12 squared, it's 144, right? Yeah, that's right. So we got 144 plus, let's check it out, 35 squared, 1,225, you're welcome. 1,225 equals C squared. Now what do we do? Yeah, that's right, add them up. So we ended up plus the 144, we got 1369, all right? 1,369 is C squared, but we ain't wanting no C squared, so what do we gotta do? Yeah, that's right, square root it. Square root both sides, square root of 1,369 equals 37, right on the money, okay? Now, it's not always gonna turn out adorable like that. You'll have decimals sometimes, and that's fine. That's okay. Okay. All right, hop on over to number 2. Now on number 2, they give us A and C. We are going to need to find B. So I'm going to take up a little room from number 3. Don't tell number 3 though. You're still going to need to do number 3, but this marker writes big. So, all right. So we got A squared. So 10 squared. Plus, we don't know what B is, so B squared equals, our C is 26, 26 squared. 10 squared, yeah, 100. 26 squared, I don't know. 26 squared, 676, my third favorite number. Okay, now, equations. How do we get rid of 100? We subtract 100 from both sides. These cancel out. We have B squared equals 676 minus 100. That's right, 576. And then this is going to be our last step pretty much every time. We get rid of squaring something by square rooting it. So we square root both sides. Square root of B squared is B. Square root of 576, I don't know. 576, 24. And again, why do we not use negative 24? Yeah, exactly, because there can't be a negative side length. You are so smart. Oh my gosh. All right, so go to the next 4 problems. So after 6, go to these guys. Now these are probably way too small up here, but you have it in front of your face. So this says, determine whether this could be lengths of a right triangle. So to figure that out, you got to see if A squared plus B squared equals C squared. These are yes or no questions. So if that is true, then it's a yes. And if it doesn't work out, it's a no. But here's the thing, all these are in numerical order. That's not true. Number 22 is not. But you always have to have C as your longest side. So most of the time they just tell you in order, like smallest to greatest, but sometimes they don't. So let's do number 22. It gives us the side lengths of 23, 18, and 14. The longest side has to be C. So this has to be C, and it doesn't matter if you mix up the 18 and the 14, which one you put as the A. It doesn't. So we could say 18 squared plus 14 squared equals 23 squared. Let's check it out. Now 18 squared, 18 times 18 is 324. 14 squared, I'm calling 196. Let's check it out though. Oh! 23 squared, 529. Let's keep going. If we add these together, 324 plus 196 equals 520 equals 529? What? No, it does not. So, they are not equal, so nope. They would not be sides of a right triangle. Cool? How about you? Okay, good. We got word problem. Flip it on over. Go to number 42. This one is crazy, but my recommendation is to always just draw these out. They'll be so much easier if you draw it out. So a wire is run between the tips of two poles. One pole is 23 feet taller than the other pole. So let's draw that out a little bit. Here's the first pole. Perfect drawing. Here's the other one. Now it says that this one is 23 feet taller. So if I match this one right over here, then this distance would be 23 feet from here up to here. That'll probably be important. The poles are 37 feet apart. So this distance is 37 feet, which up here that would be the same thing, 37 feet. How long does the wire need to be to reach the two poles? So it is going from the tip of this one to the tip of this one. So what are we looking for, a leg or a hypotenuse? Oh, that's right. I'm sure you're all standing up, applauding, screaming, hypotenuse, hypotenuse. So that's right. Let's call that x for now. So if we were to set up the equation, we just got to make sure that's on the side by itself. So we could say 23 squared plus 37 squared equals x squared, or c squared, or hypotenuse squared, or walrus squared. It's all fine. So 23 squared, let's see, 23 squared, 529. Didn't we just get that one? 529 plus 37 squared, 1369. Same number as before. 1369 equals x squared. Now, what do you guys all know about me? Heart of gold, that's right. What else do you know about me? Straight up savage. So I'm gonna finish this one up. Plus the 529, 1898. The year my grandma was born. Last step, square root it. That's right. Square root of 1898. Whoops, that's the wrong number. Square root of 1898. I accidentally put 89. 43 point long decimal. 56604,182. Let's call it 43.6. 43.6 equals x. Now, what are we talking about? We're talking about feet. That's a lot of feet. 43.6 feet. Work in your cruise and finish up the rest of this. Toss in the bin whatever you get done, okay?